All right. And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Multiverse Show, episode 81. The greatest show on Mondays. We got a jam-packed slice of it for you guys. We do our intros real quick. So first off, we got to introduce, Fame is still coming back from PAX South. He's out there, been repping us real hard, meeting all the big people. Actually, I guess I'll announce it now. We actually got an interview / show with Rick Magnesi from Warhorse Studios, who is working on Kingdom Come Deliverance, and we're going to have him on February, right before the game launches, and so he'll have his last-minute attempt to try and get you to pre-order that game before it comes out. So, also, we got some other cool guys on the show, but we need our intros. So we got Fame, who's already at PAX South, and we have the Chief of Achievements, the one true King of the North, Undead 3XVI.
What's going on? Glad to be back on the podcast on a Monday. Sick as hell, so if I sound a little bassier than normal, I apologize.
Man, you're sick as hell.
Hella sick.
All right. We also have the Don Deletion, your Italian companion, the infamous Mike P. The Truth.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, guys? It's Mike from the Inner Circle. Thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of the Multiverse Show. As always, we got a nice docket of topics planned to talk about tonight, and let's get it in, man.
All right. And we have the return, the immortal Caesar of cinema, the Brit of wit, James Wilson, finally back on the podcast. Welcome, sir.
I think you'll find my name is James Sterling Wilson, or you go by my Twitter name, 50 Shades of Ginger. Hello there. I'm very happy to be back on the Multiverse Show. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels longer.
No, it has been longer. We had the whole month off.
Oh yeah, we had Christmas off. I know. I recorded something with
Christmas
someone else,
off,
and then it turns out that they didn't have their mic on the entire time. We had 3 hours recorded. And
jeez.
Again, they're over there in America, and we started recording at midnight and we finished at 3 a.m. Like I could hear birds, and I just felt they were mocking me the entire time. But hopefully this isn't happening. So cheers, clink. I'm drinking my troubles away.
All right, and we have the first time on the show, hopefully soon to follow with more episodes, Frog's Dream. How are you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing very well. I'm really happy to be here, really excited. This is what I love to do. I love to talk gaming. I love to talk this, knowledge. I just love to share everything with everyone and have them share it back with me. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you guys for inviting me.
Nah, man, thank you for coming on the show. Really do appreciate it. I love it.
You sort of hopped on.
Yeah, basically.
I knew someone was going to make that joke, and I had a 98% chance it was James.
All right.
That's the 4 bottles of cider talking.
So we got a couple things we want to get into before we start getting real into the thick of it. First off, on the list of things we got to talk about, we got to do the Sea of Thieves giveaway. Another mention for you guys. We are giving away a copy of Sea of Thieves and the controller. So if you want to win that controller and you want to win a copy of the game, go and check out the link in the description below. It details how to win. Please go check it out. It's gonna be dope. We're gonna be giving that out when it comes out, I believe. So it will be a lot of fun. Go and check that out. I guess we'll go with this like Frogs. This is your first time on the show. We give everybody just a little bit of time to plug yourself. Give everybody a little bit of background, who you are, what's your deal. So what's your life story in 2 minutes?
My life story in 2 minutes. Okay. Pretty quick and simple. I graduated high school when I was very young, 17 years of age, went to college, Temple University, decided I didn't want to do school anymore, decided I wanted to travel. My mom and my dad didn't have the money to afford for it, so I decided to join the military, U.S. Marine Corps. That didn't happen. Instead, I walked across the street to the Department of Defense of U.S. Army, and I joined as a U.S. Army nurse. I served for 20 years. I just recently retired. I was an LPN. I did patient admin stuff in the military. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science. And I dabble in various other things, but I love gaming. I've been gaming ever since I was basically a young cat, from the NES days all the way up to now. I don't really have a total system of preference. It's just basically where my friends are. I'll play anything and where it's at. And that's basically what it boils down to. Married, got older kids. I call them man children because I am in my 40s. So that's basically it.
All right. So, question: if you had to pick 3 franchises as like the go-to franchises for you, like if you're playing like Family Feud, right, and your life is on the line, if your kids and your friends can't guess your favorite games, what would you like write down for them in advance? Like what are your go-to franchises?
Whoa. Wow, that's a good one. I would definitely say probably my favorite 3 franchises would have to definitely be, in no particular order, Mario, as that's the first game I can really remember beating. Zelda, I'm definitely a diehard Nintendo guy, and I'll probably have to say Uncharted. Those are my 3 favorite games of all time.
Fair enough. So we're going to get into some of these cool topics here. But also, before we get into those cool topics, also another little thing for those of you guys who are interested. We are doing a massive recruitment push. We are getting people. We are getting whole podcasts. We're getting writers left and right, potential editors, hint, hint, wink, wink. Can't go into detail about that later. But we are getting a huge amount of new people coming in to work for the Inner Circle. We are more than welcome to everyone else who wants to come check it out. Actually, Frog is going to be joining the team, if I remember correctly, and we're going to get you up and rolling later this week. So everyone else who's interested, go and check out the link in the description below. It has a way for you to join. All you got to do is you got to email who you got to email and click that link to join, and you are good to go. We'll do a quick little interview, see what you're interested in, and we will get that rolling. So on to some of the topics for the evening, because we have a lot of interesting stuff to cover. But first, the immortal question we ask every week. All 81 episodes, we've asked this question. What are you playing? And we're going to start with Frog because he is the guest on the show. What have you been playing lately?
Right now, I'm currently playing some games that may be older to people, but I'm enjoying them. I'm currently playing on the Xbox. I'm playing Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. It's my first time playing it. Metroidvania type of game. I'm in love with the game. Can't put it down. I cannot put it down. I'm also playing on PlayStation. I'm playing The Bunker, and I also just picked up Star Ocean, the new HD 4K game.
Is The Bunker the one that has the FMVs?
Yes. Actually,
yeah, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's actually in England. Really interesting game. I played through it, beat it. Really
Wales, not
game.
England.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Wales. There you go. But it's a very good game. It's not what I expected, but it's decent. It's worth a look. And on the Switch, I'm actually playing through Zelda one more time because I actually beat it on the Wii U, and then I just recently bought a Switch when Mario came out, so I'm playing through Zelda again on the Switch for the first time on the Switch.
Nice. I gotta add you on the Switch.
Definitely.
We'll exchange social security numbers soon. We'll get into that.
Birthing documents
in triplicate.
Yeah.
So, okay, Nick, what you been playing, sir?
I've been playing a lot of indies. Finished The Bunker actually earlier in the week.
Nice.
Really enjoyed that. Played through it twice actually to get both endings. That was enjoyable.
Nice.
Playing an indie game on Xbox right now called The Final Station. Kind of a little survival horror game, I guess you'd call it. It's pretty short, but it's got 9 different endings, so it's keeping me busy that way. Also starting Bloodborne for the first time this week at some point.
Oh my gosh!
Nice.
If you want to play, I got you. I got you.
I'm not a huge Souls fan, so I'm kind of interested.
You don't need to be.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to be. It's definitely a different game.
So I'm interested to play that, and I'm playing through God of War 3 remastered for probably, I don't know, the 4th time, 5th time, maybe. Need that God of War in my life, but that's it on my end.
All right, James, what you got?
Well, as I, even though you didn't read out my prepared statement in full last time, even though I asked you to, I am playing through Nier Automata. I got it over Christmas, and it's mental. It's insane. I've never played a platinum game the full way through. I've played bits of Bayonetta, so I sort of knew the kind of gameplay I was getting into, but I wasn't expecting the story and the how much this video game tries to out video game itself. It's really, really interesting, and I don't want to talk too much about it because you just go and play it. Isn't it out on everything? Is it just PlayStation or is it Xbox as well?
PS and PC.
Oh really? Oh, that's annoying. But it's just so cool the fact that you can have a semi-open world and you walk off the map and then the game ends and the credits roll because you left, and then message comes up going so 9S and 2B left the area and then the robots took over the world. The end. Roll credits, and then you have to start again. That is one of the endings. It's brilliant.
Yes,
the first time that happened, I lost my mind. It got me. But the big one I'm playing through at the moment is FIFA. The new FIFA 18, which fair enough came out in September ages ago, but I only got it over Christmas. The reason I want to talk about it is the journey, which is the story mode that FIFA has. Now, FIFA, it was not the first of the EA Sports games to get a story mode. I think it was NBA, right? With the Spike Lee joint?
I think it was a boxing game. Their boxing franchise, Champions. Yeah.
Fight Night had it first. You're right, but I think everyone who looks down on FIFA or thinks I'm not really a kind of soccer or football guy, play the journey. If you have EA access, I think you can play through the first few chapters of it anyway. It's great because it focuses you on one aspect of the game of football, which is just attacking. So it doesn't require you to intimately know the rules and how to play the game, because it teaches you that in the first 10 minutes. It offers you a full training session where you learn how to pass, how to shoot, and how to run. And then there's the story itself, which is great and fun, and especially for American audiences, it really integrates the Major League Soccer, the MLS, which is great anyway, but then it focuses on individual players. You learn their names and their traits, and you learn the teams, and it's really good fun. If you like it sort of bad but good sports films, then you'll like the journey, and you'll like FIFA 18. And I really think everyone should play the journey. It's great. That's what I'm playing. Oh, and Resi 7 and Overwatch, obviously, but yeah.
Oh man, Overwatch. Like watching Overwatch League has got me into playing Overwatch again. That's what I've been playing. I've been playing Overwatch, a little more Fallout. I'm actually playing Rime, and I'm actually starting to get into Rime. Like once you get past like the first chapter, the game really starts coming into its own, and like you start feeling like it's more of an adventure title. Like it's like, okay, yeah, this is good. It's less puzzly, if that makes sense. Like the first portion of it is like a really more like, oh, we got this puzzle and this puzzle, this puzzle, this puzzle, and then it's like, but the second chapter it starts picking up, and it's like, yeah, there's some puzzles, but it's way more adventure oriented. I've been really digging it, and I love the art style.
What do you think of the story so far?
I am on chapter 3 currently.
Okay.
It is really kind of
very
in terms of what it is, and like it's okay, but like I said, it's more of like a moment to moment. Like I almost kind of like put it like if you watch Samurai Jack for the first time like mid season, and you have no clue what's going on, it doesn't matter what the big story is. It's just the moments and the silence is just great. It's fun.
Right. That's because I beat Rhyme last year, and that was my main complaint with the game was the story. Like I thought the puzzles were fine, the graphics obviously I love the visual style and the aesthetic of it. But my main problem with the game was the fact that you really don't figure out what the heck is going on until like the last 45 minutes of the game. And then you're like, "Oh, that's what's going on." But up to that point, the story was like totally nonsensical to me. But that was the only thing I didn't like about it. So I was just curious to see what you thought of it so far based on where you're at.
I'd say the weird thing is that like if you play Journey, you don't really find out what happened until the last minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. Anyway, so what have you been playing, Mike? This is your last one on here.
Mostly, I'm still working on Wolfenstein: The New Order. I'm on chapter 10 on that game. Now that game is amazing. You know, one of the things with me, if you know me, I don't like stealth games. I hate stealth sections in games. But the stealth sections in Wolfenstein are just done so well. Like they really make you feel like a badass. I love that. Other than that, I'm playing Project Cars 2. I'm going to be checking out the new X enhancements for Forza Horizon 3 tomorrow. Probably, and other than that, kind of like in between, I'm playing Madden and Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of good stuff. You're all over the board. I don't understand you, man. I don't know how you can play like 6 different games at once.
I do. I jump around a lot.
I just don't get it. So,
I can play maybe 2 or 3 at the most. Wow.
Yeah, 2 or 3, like, okay, I could flip back and forth. Like, okay, I could play Overwatch. I could play Assassin's Creed at the same time.
Ooh, 6.
That's because they're different.
Right. I got respect for that.
It just depends on my mood on any given day. Like one day I might be like, oh, I'm in the mood for playing a story-based game, so then I'll play Wolfenstein. One night I might be like, I'm just trying to blow off some steam, play some quick games, and I'll put on Call of Duty. You know, that kind of stuff.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Or if you're just feeling like you need to play a good game, you could replay What Remains of Edith Finch, and a game that should have been Game of the Year.
I still haven't played that game.
Oh, you have to play it.
I keep hearing it's so good.
Play it.
This game is like the only thing that we could call friend of the show.
Yep. Yeah, it's
the only game that we all like.
Oh my god. Okay, it's my biggest regret, dude. It's my biggest regret. The fact that I didn't play the game when we got Ian Dallas on.
Okay.
And I had played Unfinished Swan, and I'm so mad that I didn't play the game before.
Yeah, because we had him, and I wanted to go into full spoiler details about stuff.
And you were like a kid in the candy shop, and I was like, all right. Like Unfinished Swan was okay, I guess, but it was just like I feel so bad. That's my biggest regret. We have to get him back on again, so we can grow up about it a year later.
It's nominated for. We'll wait till like all the awards seasons are done. I think after BAFTA would be a good time because I think that's the last one.
Yeah, and they probably likely started doing something, but not full development yet.
Yeah.
But, anyway. So we'll start getting to some of these topics, guys. We got things to do and places to be. So first topic for the evening, we're going to talk about something that happened actually last week. Like it started on Wednesday last week, and we missed it, just because of the nature of being a Monday show. Allegations. So I'll give a little background, and I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible during this background segment. The allegations are coming from a nursing company. Stanley is like 95 years old now. He lost his wife last year in July. And back, supposedly, according to the nursing group, back in 2016, Stanley was acting and had supposedly or allegedly done things like walk around the house naked, ask for oral pleasure in the shower, never touch anybody or do anything, no gropey stuff, but he had supposedly done some really kind of stuff. This supposedly happened in 2016. This is something that, again, we don't know for sure. There's no evidence at this point in time. Stan Lee, when the news broke last week, the Stan Lee estate, like within the hour, came out, denied everything, and said we're not paying a damn thing over this. Like they went out and defended it. So
I don't think we're qualified enough to talk about this.
I feel like we have to bring it up because of who Stan Lee represents at this point. But at the same time, right now, we don't know the facts. It's just, this is what has been said at this point. And I kind of want to get the feeling.
I don't think he represents, like, us. Like, I see Stan Lee and I see somebody who created things in the past. I don't see him as a man of the present. If it was, who runs Marvel Studios again? Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige.
Now, that would be the man who literally represents like a vast majority of the movies that are coming out now. Stan Lee is, the creator and a legend, but again, we have to cover everything with the word allegedly, because this is.
Yep. This is the alleged state. So I guess I'll start with you, James. I want to ask the question of the group here. First off, do you think it's legit? Just based on what you know now, and again, this could all change. Do you think this sounds legit to you?
I think it sounds legit to the man. I think that the one part that sounds legit is a man would like to walk around his own house naked. Like, that's fair enough. I've done that. The other stuff, I really don't know. I really don't know.
Throw a percentage on it, like in terms like certainly, he did it, or like because I know for me, like I'm kind of like, do I think it happened in this? Do I think some of these may have happened? Maybe like a 15% chance it happened.
I would say in interviews that I've heard with him and things that I've read about him in, let's say, in recent years, if he said those things, I would say maybe 60-70% it was mostly a joke. Mm-hmm. Like, if someone asked him in the shower thing, if someone asked him, is there any way that I can make this more comfortable for you, then he might respond in such a manner.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But we'll do a follow up to that, because I have a follow up question when I ask you guys. But okay, so percentage chance of it being legit, what would you throw on it, James?
Oh, me. I said that. I said it would be like 60-70% that it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, no, we're saying if it did happen, what percentage do you say? Like 40% chance it would happen?
No, less than that. Maybe 15-20. Yeah, I don't like, but
15-20.
I just don't want to get involved.
Right. Yeah. All right, Mike. What do you think? Do you think it's legit? Percentage chance?
I'm putting a low chance on this. Like, I'm thinking maybe like 20 to 25% chance that this is actually legit. One of the first things that I thought of, and I mean, considering his age, because like you said, he's 95 years old, how do we know that he doesn't have something to the effect of early stages of Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia at his age? Because one thing that I could say from experience, family members having dementia and things like that, one of the things that happens when their personality starts to change is they kind of get this hypersexual drive to their behavior, which if he did some of those things, it might not necessarily be his fault, is what I'm trying to say. So that's kind of like a wrinkle that I think people need to take into consideration when we're talking about this.
All right, Nick, what do you think? Percent chance it's legit?
Well, like Mike said, dude's 95 years old. What What kind of blows my mind about this is just, I'm going to say it's like a 10 to 15% chance, but what blows my mind about this is a big stink over him verbally saying something. I've heard people say way worse at bars and everything else, and it's okay. But since a 95-year-old man who founded Marvel Comics said it, it's a huge issue and people want money for it. I think everyone's just overly sensitive on the subject right now because it's such a big thing in Hollywood and even the games industry right now. I don't even think, even if it is true, I don't even think it's that big of a deal. They openly said he was never physical. He never tried to anything like that. So it's not even like it's a sexual assault thing. He said some inappropriate things, and the whole, he walked around his house naked. Well, damn, charge me too. I do that too. Sue me.
Well,
I don't think it's that big.
The more you learn about your podcast mates.
you never got out of the shower and just walked to your room.
Oh snap! Fame's here.
I came in. I snuck through the back door.
All right. So yeah, we were just talking about these Stan Lee allegations real quick, man. We'll get to you in a second. Well, okay. If you, I'll ask you first. Percent chance you think it happened?
0%.
0% chance. Absolutely infallible.
Yep. Somebody's trying to take advantage. It's not true, dude.
I'll get to that in a minute.
It's not. It's not true, dude. A lot of this stuff that's coming out with people. After a while, you have to realize that some people are just want to watch the world burn, and some people look for a quick paycheck. And Stan Lee, 95 years old. Nah, it didn't happen. No way. Sorry. I don't care about victim blaming or people, you should believe somebody off the bat. No. I believe it innocent until proven guilty. So in my eyes, he's innocent.
I would put money on him having said way worse like 50 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was my thing. It's like
exactly.
If you told me this happened 30 years ago, I'd believe you. When he was cognizant and he was in his prime, his older prime, I'd believe you. I'd be like, yeah, I could see Stan doing that. If you've seen pictures of Stan and some of the stuff he's done in his prime,
now if you told me like Jerry Jones, somebody like Jerry Jones did something, I'm like, yeah, Jerry did that. But not Stan Lee. Not right now. Not at the age he's in. Not at the state he's in. He's like 2 steps from meeting Jesus. So nah, I'm good.
I've been mentally preparing for that announcement for the last 2 years. I've been waiting for it. It's gonna happen. So. What about you, Frog? What you think? Percent chance is legit?
Well, it seems like the panel might not like what I have to say, but 110% chance is legit because, and I'm gonna explain myself, because I worked in nursing for over 20 years. I've dealt with people Stan Lee's age and older, and people of that age. And I agree with some of the people on the podcast saying that when you get to a certain age, people that age say some things that their mind, they're not saying it out of hatred. They're not saying it because they want to be. They're saying it a lot of times joking. I think he did say it, and I don't think the context of how it was taken. Him walking around naked, I think he did it. Him saying, do this to me in the shower, I think he did it. But you know what? The context it was taken in was the wrong context. I think he said it jokingly, and because when you get to that age, I can tell you from experience, I've had people say some very off the wall things to me. And I'm sitting there looking, I had to take my head. And I'm like, if you're born in the 1920s and some of the things you say, it's just like, wow. So I can believe it. When you see these people this age, prime example, real quick. I was doing an IV on a patient and she was in her 90s and she was a very hard stick to put the catheter in. I got the IV in. And when I looked at her arm, she had needle marks all in her arms because nobody could get the IV in. I was the first person that got it in. She looked at me, 90-something years old, and she said, "Thank you very much." And then after she said, "Thank you very much," she said, "You're the nicest colored fella I've ever met." This woman is born in the 1920s. I couldn't be mad at her for saying that because the time frame she was raised in, the time I couldn't be mad at her for saying it. So I just said, you're welcome, and walked away. And people looked at me like, you're not going to get mad. No, how am I going to get mad? The time and the era she grew up and what she went through is totally different than how I'm living now. So I think he did it. I don't think he meant any harm by it. I really don't. That's just my opinion. That's just me.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question, but you guys already kind of answered all of it anyway. Like my thing is, I just kind of sit back and I think like, okay, do I think he did it in the way they did it? Hell no. I don't think he did it in the way that they're describing it. Like, do it or you're fired. Your career lasts on this. A 95-year-old man who doesn't know where he is, who almost blew $800,000 on a condo in a scam.
Totally.
I don't think it was anything like that. But at the same time, I look at it like I just can't see that happen at this stage of his existence. I'm just not sure it actually did happen, at least right now. But yeah, you definitely see people go on the decline. Like, and it does. It's not pretty, and it's not like my step grandfather died, and he was just the last month while he was alive, he was all over the place.
Yeah, same with my grandfather. He went through the same thing, so I can understand. And I totally, if it came out and it came back like he did this stuff, I would just look at him like, okay, look at his age. Like, this guy, come on now, really? Like, I mean, I think people are just going after him for money and for his fame. That's what I personally think.
We know that's happening. Like, because that's the big thing too about all the allegation is they didn't go to the police. Like, this supposedly happened in 2016. Like, they didn't go to the police. You mean to tell me there's no evidence of this?
Yeah,
nobody recorded anything. And like, it just, I don't believe that. Like, you went straight for money. You didn't name and shame. You didn't go to the police. You just said, "Give me money." And it's not the women. It's the thing. It's not the women who are going away. It's the nursing company.
Yeah,
the nursing company is suing him. So I'm like, that sounds sketchy to me. But anyway, we got topics we got to get into. So speaking of allegations, Quantic Dream and David Cage.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta give some background to this.
I've been quite busy, so could someone summarize this in about a minute?
Basically, from what I gather, Quantic Dream and David Cage, they're alleging that the studio treats their employees bad. There were some, from what I read, there were remarks, racial and sexual remarks, and homophobic remarks made to certain employees. There were pictures sent out with heads chopped off of employees in different, I guess, I don't want to say positions or whatever, but they weren't pleasant. And David Cage and various people in the company are saying, no, this is not what happened. Not at all. And that's what I got from it. I don't know if there's more, but that's what I got from it.
Okay.
Basically,
I'm
similar
just
stuff.
very quickly at the front. I'm just going to abstain completely from this, as I don't know any information, haven't read anything. I will not be part of this conversation. Please proceed.
Fair. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. There's a lot of weird stuff that's come out of there, and like we know, the only thing we know for a fact is like the Photoshop stuff is real. You could find that stuff. You could find all the Photoshopped images and stuff that did happen.
Yes.
We know that's legit. Some of the other stuff, like the sexual assault stuff, or just all that stuff, we don't know for sure at this point in time. The thing is, though, it's mainly a French thing. They had 3 different sites report different allegations about them from different sources inside the company in France. And the reason I would largely ignore this if it wasn't for what happened today. And this is the part that makes me start believing some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. One of the reporters at Le Monde, which is it's a bigger newspaper or news site in France, but it's
Le Monde would
probably
mean
say
the world.
Yeah, but in terms of how big we're talking about, it's probably like the equivalent like the LA Times or maybe the Washington Post. Like, it's probably somewhere in that range in terms of viewership percentage. But So Le Monde, one of the reporters there, came out and said Sony blacklisted them. Entire news publication over this. Beyond that, I'm not really sure about what exact details beyond that point, but immediately raises a red flag to me. Is that if that's true, and they blacklisted them, meaning that they can't get any work, and they're not allowed, they don't get any coverage or anything from them. That's questionable. That starts to be, start thinking cover up, but I'm also paranoid as hell, so thinking cover up's not the first thing. So yeah. But okay, so I'll ask the same question I asked about the Stanley one. Do you think this is legit? I know we're still in the beginning stages of this too. Based on the information you know now, does this sound legit to you?
Can I field this one first?
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
Sure.
I'm gonna say it's unique how Sony handled this. First of all, if they did legitimately blacklist the reporter that reported this, it's very interesting because Quantic Dreams isn't actually a Sony-owned studio. It's an independent contractor. Sony could just deny everything and say they're an independent contractor and just leave it at that. It's very interesting to see if they actually did blacklist the gentleman or woman that broke this story for reporting it. Secondly, are the allegations true? Oh, I 100% believe it. I love Quantic Dreams games. I love David Cage's games. But David Cage, and I'm fearing that he'll never come on this podcast after I say this, he's quite the he's a bit of a psycho. When I first read the allegations, like, I didn't know much about David Cage as a person. And when I saw these allegations, I was like, oh, maybe they're just going after a really creative individual or whatever. So I started looking into the back development of some of his other games. And there is a whole lot of this stuff that seems to be in the development of every one of his games. The biggest thing that stuck out to me was he had a scrapbook of Ellen Page during the development of Beyond Two Souls, where he had photos of her. And like, these weren't headshots. These were like childhood photos and other stuff.
Yeah.
There's her wanting the naked model removed from the game. And
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
comes across.
I don't want to be. I'm not defending him. I'm just putting into context for those who aren't aware of Ellen Page's involvement in Beyond Two Souls. That character that she plays, it's over her entire life, so it would make sense that the creative director of the game would want to know what the actress looked like as a child, so he could model the character correctly.
Yeah, but having a homemade scrapbook that you wander around with in the studio, that just ticks all the wrong buttons.
Understandable. Continue.
Yeah.
You know, I truly believe in innocent until proven guilty, but David Cage's behavior pre this whole thing really doesn't give me much hope that the allegations are false. Now, the allegations against his developer, I cannot remember his name. It is very French. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know if they're true. I have no idea about that man's background, but just based on David Cage's background, I would not be surprised if this came out to be true.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last Fame. What do you think?
I don't know all the fine details about this, but I'm going to completely contradict myself and say guilty, just because I want to be the one guy to call somebody guilty for no reason. So, yeah.
All right, Mike?
I think, unfortunately, and I mean, I don't want to believe it's true, but I think, unfortunately, it's more than likely true. I mean, you have to, on the other hand, kind of looking at the other side of the coin, you have to consider with any game development project, I mean, tensions are high, employees are working long hours, you have tight deadlines. So any minor issues that come up could potentially get overblown. Unfortunately, I don't think that's what happened. I do think that these are legit. If that rumor is true that Sony blacklisted the newspaper, the news outlet that came out with the source, that's That's pretty damning right there. And I'm actually reading an article from GameSpot right now, and David Cage, in his defense to itself, is basically his own version of I'm not homophobic because I'm friends with gay people. I'm not racist. I have plenty of black friends. So it's like, yeah, it's like his own version of that.
Yeah. What would you, Frog? What's your on this? What's your impression?
I definitely think it's there's some truth to it. I really do. It just seems like you know, I don't know. To me, just reading the backstory and then looking at some, investigating some things, I'm like, yeah, this seems like it could be really, really true. As much as I don't want it to be true, because I do like some of David Cage's work, but yeah, I think it seems to be true. I do.
Yeah. I kind of stood on the position of, do I think these individual ones are true? I have no idea. I'll abstain on saying whether or not they're true. The only thing I will say is when it comes to an artist and their art as a reflection of one's soul to an extent. And if you put out something that is disturbing or really pushes that line, like to me, that shows the depth of your, maybe not character, but I'm trying to think of another. I don't want to say depth of the soul necessarily, but in terms of how your range. On the other hand, if you're routinely putting out really weird stuff, I start to question your insanity. Like it's when you routinely do something, then it's like, I'm not sure about that.
Based on this, someone should check out Suda51.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say Suda51 and then Kojima. They're very unique.
Like, okay, I think of I'll give an example. So, Orson Scott Card lives in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy who wrote Ender's Game. And if you look at Ender's Game just as a one thing, when you look at Ender's Game as a one thing, like as one piece, you're like, okay, what does that tell you about Orson Scott Card? Oh, he's got some sci-fi stuff in him. He's clearly politically interested and all this other stuff. But when you start reading other books of Orson Scott Card and you start getting a deeper perspective on the guy, it's like, you start learning a little too much about the creator when you'd rather not. So, that's kind of where I sit when it comes to art. So, again, I don't know if David Cage did this stuff. Do I believe he's capable of doing it? Based on the work he's put out, I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. So,
the more important question is, does this news make you want to play Detroit less?
I didn't want to play it at all.
Actually, the bear question for me, because I prefer to judge it by the whole studio's work, not just one individual. It's the same thing I said with the Naughty Dog allegations. Is I wouldn't stop playing Naughty Dog games just because of one issue with one part of the development team. There's still tons of people that worked on Detroit that deserve the game to receive its success. I'd hate for people to lose their jobs over that. But at the same time, is this backlash gonna hurt the game in the long run?
No.
The long question.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think it depends on how Sony handles it. I think if you try to, well, I'll say, if I were Sony and I were on a strict timetable, if I wanted to, there's the long haul and the short haul. If I'm trying to do the long haul, I just delay the game till everyone forgets about it. Because people will. I mean, people have very short-term memories.
People have seemed to have forgotten about all the controversy, with air quotes, around the physical abuse stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
To an extent, that seems like a much bigger deal, personally.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's more, if you want to succeed Well, if you want it to succeed, but you don't want to put a lot of work, just delay the game till everyone forgets about it. Or like because it's supposedly going to come out early 2018, just push it to like September. Everyone forgets about it. Everyone moves on. But if you really are committed on having an early 2018 release, though, I think the best way you could do it is like disavow him or something like that. Like say, oh, yeah, we're kicking David Cage out the project, even though the work's pretty much done, and him being off the project won't do anything. But it would look good publicly, like you're taking a stand against it. But
I don't know. I think it will be more telling, even if the allegations don't go through or nothing's done about it, is whether or not Sony funds another game through Quantum Dream and not with David Cage. If they don't, then you know why.
Exactly.
You jump to the point and you stole it. I was gonna say like that's important because like if they that would be the long-term solution for everything. Just stop funding it. You're not going to deal with it. If you think it's legit, you might not support it anymore. So, all right. So, anything else on this topic before we move on?
I really like Beyond Two Souls.
I want to play it eventually, but I gotta wait for a good sale. Anyway, so Overwatch League. Let's talk about Overwatch League.
Yay, something fun.
So
thank God, something fun. Something happy.
so bleak and it's nice to have something fun. So let's talk about Overwatch League for a minute. So this is Blizzard's big push into the whole esports arena and trying to make it more mainstream. They had a tournament for esports, and they chose the top 12 teams, and they kind of let some owners and such of franchises kind of draft people. Sometimes they drafted whole teams, sometimes they drafted individuals. It really depends on the situation. But it really is impressive what's happened now. So we have 12 teams, and I'm going to try to do this from memory here. In the Pacific Division, the Shanghai Dragons from China, the Seoul Dynasty from South Korea, the LA Valiant, and the LA Guardians. I keep forgetting who owns those two, but I know it's like one DJ owns one of those teams. I forget I think he owns the Gladiators. I don't remember what the other one is. Then there's the San Francisco. What is it? The San Francisco something. James, help me out here.
I'm literally googling them now.
I forget every time, but I know that team is owned by Shaq and Russell Wilson.
Love it.
Who is that?
So in the Pacific Division,
I can't remember San Francisco.
The San Francisco Shock.
Shock.
Yes. Did you say the Seoul Dynasty? Yep,
Seoul Dynasty, Shanghai Dragons, LA Valiant, LA Guardians. And
the Dallas Fuel.
And then a lot of those are MV guys. Yeah. Then there's so the Dallas Fuel is owned by Jack in the Box.
The Gladiators is owned by the guy who owns Arsenal Football Club in England.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you think he'd own the London Spitfires, but no.
Well, no, but it's an American guy who also owns the LA Rams, the Denver Nuggets, and the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh wow, didn't even know about that. Then in the Atlantic Division, you got the London Spitfires, who's owned by a British team full of South Koreans, owned by a Texan.
Hey, my favorite team is it's in London. It's the majority is African and European players, owned by a Russian. Yeah, that's Chelsea for you.
Let's see who else we got. We got the Boston Uprising, owned by Robert Kraft, who owns the Patriots. Then you got the New York Excelsior, who's owned by the Mets owner, like Wilpon, I think it's his last name.
Jeff Wilpon.
Yep. So he owns the New York Excelsior. Then there's the Houston Outlaws, who's basically Optic Gaming, and they lost twice. Like already twice. But side story. Then there's the Philadelphia Fusion, which is owned by Comcast. Oh, the Florida Mayhem. I don't know who owns them.
Misfits, apparently.
Misfits? I don't know who that is. So
they're an esports team. Organization, beg your pardon.
It's been crazy. It's really fun to watch, though. Like, so they did a couple matches. So the basic setup is you do 4 matches of all different game types in Overwatch, and whoever wins the most wins the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you win the whole thing, and you kind of move on. And so they have matches lined up like Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from now until June. It is absolutely crazy. They have lined up everything.
It's a proper season of sport.
Yep, and it's pretty awesome though. Like I started watching them, and so like the standout teams to me, I like the Dallas Fuel because they have this energy and they're fun. They're actually they stand up, they talk, and they do something to it.
Yeah, and they lost twice.
Well, they lost twice, but they lost to Seoul, who's ranked number 1. Like,
yeah.
And they at least won 1 match against
Seoul.
They
won 1 round.
Or sorry, 1 round. I'm sorry what we're calling it. But so they won something, or was it a total blowout?
No, they didn't even win 1 game. They won 1/3 of 1 round.
And shut up. They won something, okay? It wasn't
fun to watch.
4-0.
I agree with you. They are fun to watch, but they're just in this way. It's only been the first stage, but they are bottom.
Shut up.
Oh no, sorry. I beg your pardon. In their division, Shanghai are bottom.
Yeah, they lost twice. They won nothing.
I was talking about London Spitfire.
But then on the Atlantic division, I liked the Philadelphia Fusion. That match with the Houston Outlaws is probably the best one that they had this.
Good match.
That was a good match. So
yeah, I want to talk about Spitfire because I watched it in a place called the Loading Bar, which is a regular haunt for video game fans in London. There's 3 of them, and they're all video game bars and lounges and stuff, and it's great. And so there were a full bar watching Overwatch. And the guy who owns that bar, he said, if the Spitfires win, everyone gets 3 shots. So like you could see him as they lost the first round, and you could see him like really happy. And then when they won consecutively and just stormed to victory, you can see him get really annoyed and just quietly and aggressively filling up shot cans for people. It's really good fun to watch. I wonder if it will actually reach mainstream or even semi-mainstream appeal, because I know what's going on all the time because I play Overwatch constantly. But I've never followed esports. So me watching this was a new thing, and it took me a few minutes to get into it. I'm worried that someone who's like, I'm interested in what this is because it's got a massive popularity, and then they put it on, and then there's completely nothing. They don't get anything.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I want to get some of the people
but does Blizzard and does esports really want the absolute massive thing? Of course, money-wise they do, but at the end of the day, they just want regular watching fans that understand it and love it and support it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the question I got to ask though is, because this is the thing though, because there's people in the podcast who don't play Overwatch like we do, and I guess we should ask them. All right, who here has actually seen a match other than me and James?
I saw that first round between Philadelphia and Houston. I thought that was a great match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you and I were talking.
What was going on?
I'm impressed watching it. Just looking at the skill of the players involved is entertaining to me, because on Philly, they had this dude Carpe on Philly's team. And I'm a guy that mains Tracer in Overwatch, and he is a beast Tracer. Like, he was nuts in that first round.
There was a Tracer on the Florida Mayhem team as well. It was just kidding. Watching Tracer, Genji, What's another like really like super fast paced one? Watching a good Tracer or a good Genji is like watching a god play like actually watching a ninja play a video game. It's outstanding.
Yeah, amazing. I'm a Lucio person. That's who I love. That's my favorite character I play with. Whenever I play Overwatch, I'm always playing with Lucio, either him or Reinhardt.
Yeah,
I'm a Zenyatta man myself.
I'm a flex tank. I will play any tank character and be decent.
Ooh, look at you! Look at you using the esports terms. Flex.
I had to use it, man. Shut up. No, I play Roadhog. I play Reinhardt. I'll play a little diva. I used to main diva, and I got off when everyone else started maining diva too. And like,
wait. You know the terms better than I do. I'm just a big fan of the game. If I main Zenyatta, but also very often play as Tracer or Torbjorn, would I count as flex?
No, flex is more of a role than anything else.
Okay,
but yeah, so that's why like when I say flex tank, that means that anyone who can play the tank role.
Oh,
yeah, I always play hero role. I always play hero role.
Yeah. Like I my characters I play the most. I play Reinhardt, Roadhog, Symmetra, and Zenyatta. So,
do you have did you get the Halloween Symmetra skin from this year? The last one even the dragon.
I got
one.
the Halloween Zenyatta one.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I love it. I just got rid of it because I put on the Spitfire skin.
Oh man,
which is great. We should mention that actually. They're like all the skins for all of the teams are in the game, and you can get them. Yep. And they look great.
They look good. I don't like some of them because they look weird to me on some of them. More of the Omnic characters look weird.
Yeah.
But all right, Nick, what do you thought? What do you thought? Did you watch this at all?
No, I was working the whole time. I haven't had a chance to catch highlights or anything.
All right. Well, do you think you'd be interested in this kind of thing though, like watching Overwatch as an esport?
I don't know. Esports is a weird thing for me. I've done tournaments and stuff. It's really fun to compete and stuff, but I just don't have an interest watching it really, which is weird because I enjoy watching football, but I don't know. Watching professional video games is kind of like I watch it sometimes, but I'll probably check it out to see if I like it. But
I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link so you can at least watch the Philadelphia Fusion versus Houston. It's on YouTube, so I got it now. I will send that to you so you can at least watch something. I mean, that was probably the best match out of last week. It was excellent. I gotta get the timestamp next. But all right, Frogs, did you say you watched it? Wasn't sure if you got a chance.
Yes, I did watch a little bit of it. I'm a big fan of Soul. I look at these guys, and I just say, what they do is just freaking incredible. I'm not gonna lie, like these guys they're incredible. And I respect.
Fleta made me freak out.
Yeah,
watching Fleta.
I respect everything they do. As far as the game, something being an esports game, yeah, I watch it. I watch Call of Duty, so I'm a huge Call of Duty guy, and a lot of people hate me probably in the chat for saying that. But I've been playing Call of Duty for years, and I watch Call of Duty. So if I can watch Call of Duty, I can definitely watch this because this is way more entertaining to me. It's just so much more to me when you watch Overwatch. You have those feelings of like people put into a crunch or a rat in a corner where people are backed into a wall and you see them get out of that crunch and they come over, they overcome the adversities. And I love that stuff. I love watching that stuff. I really do.
That's sort of a good way to explain it for people because typically Overwatch matches aren't incredibly long, which is the nature of why it has such a mass appeal because you can just pop in and do a match.
Right.
Instead of spending like 90 minutes or 2 hours on a football or soccer game. And you get those sports stories of like being backed against a wall and breaking out of it and coming back and doing that, and all of it takes place real time in about the space of seconds or at a maximum minutes. And to watch it happen, you get all the same emotions as if it happens over a long period of time. But it's just such a rush to watch. It's really great.
It is fun to watch.
I have never watched like esports like I've gone to watch it. I've seen highlights and I've seen stuff, but I've never actively sought it out. And I feel I'm incredibly invested now. I've sorted it out once and I'm hooked.
Same thing here, dude. Like, I normally do not watch esports. I don't watch Let's Plays. I don't watch any of that stuff. But I like watching this. It's fun. Yeah. It's different. So,
well, I think also Overwatch has a really unique way of presenting its cast of characters. And I think that's what that game appeals to. Like, and when you have the different setup of characters, those characters are very, very interesting. Those characters are characters I wish that were in a Pixar movie, and they would just go ahead and just say, "Okay, hey, this character has a movie." I would watch it. I really would. They're very interesting.
I don't understand why Blizzard hasn't submitted the short films they made for awards.
Yes, totally agree.
Like you could like the Bastion one.
Oh yeah,
genuinely one of the best animated short film I've seen in a decade.
Yeah, I agree.
That isn't Pixar.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna kind of wrap things up here. We had a good long show. Just try to get some other thoughts in here. But yeah, like as we kind of wrap up though, like I'm gonna watch this week's. I'm gonna have a good time. So I really dig it. I like watching it, and but yeah, for me, I'm gonna follow the Philadelphia Fusion and Dallas Fuel, mainly because I'm not big on watching like winning teams so much, because they're gonna win and it's just kind of like but I'd rather watch a team overcome others and just do that. I would rather watch that personally.
Well, I'm supporting my local team. I am London till I die.
Your local team.
Yeah.
See, I don't have a local team. That's why I'm kind of pissed off, is because there was going to be an Atlanta team. I'm not in Atlanta, but it's the closest one I would have had. And like I'm not going to support New York, even though they're the closest team we have technically.
Right.
I'm not going to support New York because I'd rather have a team with some representation, because I don't have that connection to New York. I don't want to have a team just only be South Koreans.
True.
It feels like you're importing your team.
But how is that any different from following baseball and getting Puerto Ricans and Japanese?
I don't follow baseball. I don't follow baseball.
But for people who do, and the best players at Chelsea right now are Spanish and Italian. They're not English. Doesn't matter. The point is that the team and that's what matters.
Yeah, part of it might be just because it is the first season, and it's just like I don't know. I don't have this connection to you at all. Like, I think that might be about it too. I just don't have that connection with any of the teams, and they're not like none of them are representing my state either. So it's different. Like here we have the Carolina Panthers, so it's like, but like a couple of the guys on the team are from North Carolina too, so it's like, yeah, I don't care. Like at least something. Like, what was it there? I was reading something. There's only like 2 people from Philadelphia, and they're not on the Philadelphia Fusion. So it's like, okay. So it's just anyway, guys. We gotta move out of here. But thank you. I want to thank you, Frog, for showing up on the show. We do appreciate it, man.
Oh, most definitely. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I want to get you on eventually. Some more. It'll be an absolute blast to have you on. So
I would greatly appreciate it. I love talking gaming. I love just having conversations with good people. So I definitely appreciate the invite. Definitely.
And with less dark topics.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been on a lot of different podcasts.
We don't make the news. We're not that famous yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But we got some big things rolling. Again, if you guys are watching the show, drop a like, favorite the episode you're watching on whatever your podcast group is. We'll have this up a little later. Again,
and if you want to win that if you're interested in writing for the site, or even joining us on the podcast, send emails and messages to the right people, and you can join us.
But links in the description how to do that, and also if you want to win that Sea of Thieves controller and game, link in the description as well to get down with that. We're going to do our outros here. Fame had to dip early because of his daughter. But Nick, do your outro, bro.
Well, it was good to be back on the podcast again on a Monday. Always interesting. And hopefully next week, gaming news will be a little less harassment-based. Hopefully.
Yeah, please not.
And yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Mike.
All right, thank you everybody for stopping by as usual. We really appreciate the support. You could find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, Twitter, YouTube, pretty much wherever at Mike P. The Truth. And as always, make sure you check out the Inner Circle for all your gaming news at ticgn.com.
All right. And James?
Yes, at James_S Wilson, if you want to come talk to me on Twitter. 2 very quick things to mention. Netflix stuff. Black Mirror came out just after Christmas, just before the new year. Season 4. It's great. It's not as good as the other seasons, but it's got some real standout moments, especially the episode with the Star Trek inspired one with Jesse Plemons, Christian Malossi, and all a bunch of people. That's fantastic. And also Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, season 2, is all of it's on Netflix. It might be the weirdest show on TV, and it has Elijah Wood, and he's not the lead. It makes no sense, but it's so good. It how in Lost it kept adding a mystery and then it never paid off.
Right. Yeah.
Like this show, it's like this happens. No, wait. This happens. No, wait. This happens. It undermines everything you've ever seen. And then in the last 2 episodes, it wraps everything up in a neat bow until at the end of the season, it just goes, but wait, this? And it just go, ooh, it's great. Written by Max Landis, who's in the news for bad reasons at the moment, but allegedly. But yes, man. I'm great. So you should follow me instead at James_S Wilson. And I'm starting work as my first short film that I'm acting in on Friday. So that's exciting.
Interesting.
All right, man. Dope. So, all right. And Frog, where can good people find you at?
People can find me at Frog's Dream at Eugene. Eugene_Griffin on Twitter. I also promote my own channel, Dope Gaming with Frog. You can also find me on Planet Xbox. I do podcasts with Planet Xbox and Kids Moves Crew, and we go in there, we talk about Xbox stuff. I'm kind of like the guy who's always like trying to spit out the truth. I try not to I try not to be the fanatic. I try to really say I'm a fan, but here's the truth. So you can find me in those places. I'm also on PlayStation at Frog and Pepper. Also on Xbox at Frog's Dreams. And I'm also on my Switch at Frog's Dreams. So you can find me on any of those places if you want to play. I'm down to play anything. I play a huge variety of games. It doesn't matter what it is, I'll play it. I will definitely play it.
All right. So guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for checking out the show. We'll see you guys next week, and we are out of here with episode 81 of the Multiverse Show, and we are out.